everyone, and welcome to another video. Today I am going to be deep cleaning my kitchen appliances. They were all in a huge need of a good deep cleaning and a good scrubbing. So I'm going to be sharing with you how I deep clean my appliances and some tips and tricks for it. And I'm also going to show you a big fail also as well, because sometimes in life things don't go as planned. And so I kept it in there to show some real life in there. But I am going to be starting with my washing machine because it is in my kitchen. And these are the products I am going to be using. I actually did not end up using the thieves cleaner, but I did end up using everything else. So for the washing machine, I am going to be setting it on the longest and largest cycle and the hottest cycle as well. And while it is filling up, I am putting in 3 cups of vinegar. And then I'm gonna let that mix together. And then after it mixes together for a little bit, I'm adding in ½ a cup of baking soda. And then I'm gonna close the lid again, and I'm gonna let that mix together for a couple minutes. And then I'm gonna open the lid, and I'm gonna let that sit for an hour. And while that is sitting in there for an hour, it's just gonna loosen up all the dirt and all the smells, and it's gonna make it smell and look a lot better. And then while it is sitting there, I'm also just taking a microfiber cloth and dipping it into the solution and wiping down the outside of the washer to get it all nice and clean. This has been my favorite way that I have found to clean this top loading washer. It just loosens up all the dirt and gets rid of all those weird washer smells that accumulate over time. So after this has been sitting for an hour, I'm going to close up the lid and just let it run the rest of the cycle. And then once it is all done with the cycle, I'm going to open up the lid so that it can dry with the lid open. You want to keep the lid open so that no mold occurs. Now I'm going to clean the dishwasher and show you what I do with the dishwasher, which is super easy. I am just going to be taking 1 cup of white vinegar, and all I do is just stick it on the top rack, and then I run the dishwasher again for the hottest and longest cycle, and that's just going to loosen up all of the dirt and stains in the dishwasher, and that they'll just wipe right off. So this is a few hours later, of course, and the dishwasher is all done, and I'm just going to show you how easily things wipe off on the inside. It just comes right off. It's so gross for me to look at, but it's also like super satisfying to see all of that just wipe right off. And I did notice as I was editing this video that I forgot to wipe like the back part of the dishwasher. So yes, see that huge line on the back there? It's bothering me so much that I forgot to wipe that part. But I guess I'll go back and do it another time. But yeah, I forgot to do that. But the rest of the dishwasher all wiped clean. So now I am going to move on to cleaning my stovetop, and I'm going to be soaking the drip pans in the sink. So I'm just filling up the sink with some hot water, like a little splash of vinegar and a couple drops of lemon essential oil. And I am just going to be removing the drip pans. One of the drip pans did not want to come free of the burner, but I eventually got it free. And so those are going to soak in the sink, and then I just washed off the burners, which with some hot water and soap later on, but making sure that I don't get the heating elements wet. And then this is the stovetop. It's really nasty. So I'm just gonna clean off the top part first, and then I'm gonna open up the hood part, I guess it's called, and clean underneath that too, because it gets really gross with food that's dropped over, or foods that have spilled over in pans, and it's really gross to me that this is always happening, but can't avoid it sometimes. Also, I just wanted to say that I am doing a lot of things at once, but in the editing of the video, you can't really tell because I'm just kind of clumping them all together into one process so you can see the whole thing so the video's not jumping around. But for example, I am cleaning the stove right now while the washing machine is sitting with that baking soda and vinegar mixture, because obviously I couldn't do anything else. There's a lot of things in these processes where you have to let them sit to kind of work. And so I was cleaning a lot of things at once while some other things were sitting. So these drip pans have been sitting in this hot water, vinegar, and lemon oil mixture for about an hour now. So I'm going to be rinsing them off, and then I'm going to scrub them with this mixture that I made to clean my oven. It's a mixture of Dawn, vinegar, and baking soda, which you'll see me make in a little bit. But I'm going to scrub that onto the drip pans, and then I'm going to let them sit for a little bit longer because those burnt on food stains are really hard to get off, so they kind of needed to sit a little bit longer before I could scrub them off for good. So after they had sat for another 20 minutes, I took a sponge and I tried to scrub off those burnt on food stains, and some of them came off, but some of them were just too burnt on to get off. And that just happens sometimes, at least what I have found in living in an apartment for nearly 10 years. Sometimes they just don't come off, and I usually replace these every once in a while. But today I am trying to see if I can clean them off, and they look a little bit better. Not perfect, but a little bit better. To kind of protect my drip pans a little bit more, I'm going to be using these drip pan liners that I found at Walmart. And I should have been using these like all along, but I'm not perfect. And these do work pretty well for, catching spills and catching crumbs that overflow. They're not perfect, but they do help, and they reduce the amount of time you have to scrub. So I think I should learn my lesson and use these more often. Now I'm going to move into cleaning my microwave, which wasn't too bad. It had some splatters and some grease marks and some crumbs in it. So to clean my microwave, I just take 2 cups of water, and to that I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of vinegar, and then I'm going to add a drop of lemon essential oil, and that just helps it smell a little bit better, smell less vinegary. And then I'm also going to put a toothpick into the cup, and that prevents the water from boiling over the cup. And I'm gonna set this in the microwave on high for 5 minutes. And then after the 5 minutes are up, I'm not gonna open the door. I'm just gonna let it sit for another 5 minutes and let the steam do the work. And then I'm just gonna take out the plate that's in there and wash that in the sink. And then everything just wipes off super easy. All I need to do is just take a paper towel and wipe everything down. Okay, are you guys ready for the big fail? So I am going to be cleaning my oven, and I am going to be using a hack that I saw on TikTok. And so what the TikTok said to do was make a paste of baking soda, Dawn dish soap, and vinegar. And you make a paste and you scrub the inside of your oven, and then you're supposed to let it sit overnight or for like 8 hours or so. And honestly, this was a huge fail, as you will see in a minute. I am guilty of never cleaning my oven, which is why it's so bad. And this is actually like a new oven. We got it last year, so guilty, never cleaned my oven before. So yeah, I wanted to keep this in here just to show that in life, not everything goes to plan, and sometimes there are huge fails, and not to listen to things that you see on TikTok because they're not always true. So here I am coating my oven in this mixture. And my goal was, I was hoping that this was going to be like a super satisfying after shot, where after it had sat for a while, I was just going to wipe up this mixture and all the grease marks were going to come off, and it was going to be super satisfying, and my oven was going to be super pristine clean, but that was not the case. After I was done coating the oven, I shut the door and let it sit for about 6 hours. And then I came back in and started to wipe it off. And this is when I started to realize that I had messed up and that this wasn't working as well as I thought. It was super sudsy and super soapy and super hard to get off. It was dried on and it left behind this film, and it kept getting really sudsy. The door cleaned up a little bit better than the rest of the oven, but it still kind of left this film. This is where I started to realize that maybe it wasn't working as well, and so I shut the oven, let it sit for a few more hours, and then this is a few more hours later where I'm trying my best to scrub this off, and I am realizing that I made a mistake. The mixture had dried and it was turning into this powder, and it had gotten into the crevices and cracks. And so I'm getting the powder all together, and I stopped filming because I was so frustrated. I was sweating from scrubbing and the light was super hot, and I ended up vacuuming out all of that like powder, and it took forever. And I was so mad because like none of the burnt food even came off, so the mixture didn't even work or at getting any of the stains off. So I ended up going back in after that, going in with Easy Off and these stainless steel scrubbers, and it worked a lot better. Got most of the stains out, not all of them, but definitely better than that mixture. I will never, ever, ever do that again. Anyways, that's gonna do it for today's video. I hope that it gave you some good motivation to clean your appliances and maybe not try TikTok cleaning hacks sometimes. But I hope that you like this and that you'll give it a thumbs up and that you will stick around and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.